Welcome to week 8 of our class. We're getting close to halfway through the semester, if you can believe it. This week, we'll continue with Module 2 and talking about la vie universitaire. In particular, we'll be learning about les jours de la semaine, days of the week, les mois et les saisons, the months and the seasons of the year, and lastly, an important verb, le verbe irregulier, avoir. Let's start off with the days of the week. In French, the days of the week start on Monday, not Sunday like in English. So, the days of the week in French are lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, and dimanche. Répétez. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. Now, just like in English, the days of the week are named after certain things. So, like Monday is named after the moon, so is Monday in French. Lundi, named after the moon. The word for moon in French is lune. I have a song about this on Blackboard. You might want to take a listen. It'll help you remember the days. Now let's look at the mois, les mois et les saisons. The first one is l'hiver. The months of hiver are décembre, janvier, février. Le printemps has 3 months. Mars, avril, mai. L'été has 3 months. Juin, juillet, and août. And finally, l'automne, with septembre, octobre, et novembre. The last thing we want to learn in this week's lesson is the irregular verb avoir. The verb avoir means to have. This is an irregular verb because unlike the verbs we've been working with in the chapter, it does not follow a pattern. We cannot just take off the end of the verb and add the same endings for je every time, or tu, or il. In this verb, we actually change the entire spelling. So, looking at this part of the verb, which again is called the infinitive, what we need to do is we need to change the entire spelling. For je, we're going to change it to ai, j'ai. For tu, we'll change it to as, a. For il, elle, and on, we're going to use just the letter A. For nous, we're going to use avons. Nous avons. And again, here, between the S and the A, we will pronounce a little Z sound. That's called a liaison. Vous, we use the form avez. So again, with a liaison, vous avez. And lastly, for il and elle, we'll use on. O-N-T, we don't pronounce the T at the end. And again, there's a liaison. Ils ont, elles ont. So, to give you the entire conjugation, j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Répétez avec moi. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. So what you're doing when you conjugate the verb, that is, take the infinitive and instead use ai for je or as for tu, is you're saying here, I have. Here you're saying you have. He, she, or one has. We have, you have, and they have, either masculine or feminine. The differences in the English of spelling are not as pronounced. We basically have two forms, right? I have, you have, we have, they have, and then the form has. He has, she has. It's just different in French. You have to use all 6 different forms to conjugate the verb correctly. Otherwise, you would be saying something like, we has. Here are some examples. J'ai un chat. J'ai un chat. I have a cat. Nous avons un cours de français ce semestre. We have a French class this semester. Est-ce que vous avez un cours de philosophie? Do you have a philosophy class? Elles ont des amis. They, and that they here is feminine and plural of course, have some friends. In the negative, with the verb avoir, just like we had with the expression il y a, the indefinite article changes to de or d apostrophe. For example, if I use the same sentences I just had in the previous slide and I make them negative, I would say je n'ai pas de chat. Nous n'avons pas de cours de français. Or with a vowel, elles n'ont pas d'amis. So again, in the affirmative, I always use an indefinite article. In the negative, that indefinite article changes to de or d apostrophe. The last thing you need to know about the verb avoir is that we use it to talk about our age in French. Instead of saying I am 23, in French you say I have 23 years. To ask how old you are, you say quel âge as-tu? Or in the vous form, quel âge avez-vous? The answer is j'ai 23 ans. Think about how old you are in French. We'll be talking about it this week in lab.